Obviously, Mduduzi Mdantsane is a very good player. We know this. He played for Chiefs, he's playing for Cape Town City right now. But what if signing him will create more problems than it solves for Chiefs? Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Pelo, I am your host. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. I'm a Khosi Football Club. And today we are talking about Mduduzi Mdantsane, who, as we know, a move to Chiefs was supposed to happen this previous January, and it ended up not happening. And I've been thinking a lot about my transfers at Chiefs this coming June, and I'm thinking, why did Chiefs try to sign this guy at the last minute? Like, what was the thinking there? And it clicks, as it always clicks. Sometimes the Chiefs, well, most of the times, Chiefs, they don't sign based on what they need, but they sign based on who's available. Because if you think about it, right now, you would be shocked if the Chiefs were to move Umat into a number 10 position, or Stebe to a number 10 position, or play Umtuno Mat or Umtuno Stebe as a 8 or as E8 and a 10, it will change the entire dynamic of how the team plays. But that would need a defensive midfielder to come and play so that he can allow the two attacking midfielders to play in those positions. But the Chiefs went out and tried to sign an attacking midfielder while they were in need of a defensive midfield. Why was that? Well, because the player was available and the move was easier to do for that player, and it ended up not happening. So I'm thinking once again, Chiefs could use the same approach in June and sign a player based on the fact that he would be available because a contract is ending with the Cape Town City. But while we're doing that, then we're going back to the same thing that we had again, Yoguti. We are going to sign a player just because they're available and not because we need them. Because you look at the players that we have in that number 10 position. Umshini was picking up form before he got injured. You have Umtu, who's playing that position really well. You have Usabelo Hatebe, who's not been given an opportunity. So you're going to add the same kind of player to that position that we clearly kind of have cover in. And yes, I am sure we can do better, and we can do better with more depth. But to me, it just feels like Chiefs wanted to sign someone and they panicked by the player just because he was available. And to prove they were trying to sign him because he was available and not because they needed him is the fact that once Kukune stepped in and tried to sign the player, then the Chiefs backed out or backed away. The question is, why would a big team, big size, as the Kaizer Chiefs, be threatened or be scared by Sekukune coming in to compete with them? Because to me, it seems like once again we'll defend the Chiefs just like we defended them Ngosibusiso Vilakazi, how Sundowns offered more money for him to move from Vets to Sundowns instead of Chiefs to Sundowns. But the thing is, Osibusiso Vilakazi said things like Chiefs never offered anything, and we know that was his preferred destination, Chiefs, but the Chiefs never offered anything. Ended up not coming to Chiefs. Chiefs scouted Abu Bakar Nazir, but then when Sundowns entered the picture, Chiefs were no longer there to begin with, because we take time to decide ukuthi umdlali siyamfuna noma simfuni. We just scout them and say, oh, if you can find a cheap deal, then we can sign the player. But if someone else who has the money, and in this case, we're not even talking about Sundowns, we're talking about Skukun. If someone else who's more serious about the player comes in and wants to sign the player, then we back away and we get away. Someone might say, oh, that's a smart strategy because then the Chiefs won't be pulled into these transfer sagas. But at some point, if you need a player, if you are serious about the player, you just have to pay the money. And to me, you back out of a deal just because Sekukune got involved tells me then you are not seriously considering ukusana lo mdlali. You just saw an opportunity and you thought you should sign them. And that tells me we cannot do things like this. We cannot be opportunistic signers of players. We should be signing players because we need them, not because there's an opportunity. Please like the video, by the way, if you're enjoying the video, because we're moving to another thing about Mduduzi Mdantsane. If you look at his stats, 1920 season, only had 1 assist, Granted, he played 11 games the entire season. 2020-2021, my stats aka improve. 9 goals, 3 assists. 21-22, 9 goals, 1 assist. Looking good, right? And then this season he has played 20 games and there's only 1 goal and 1 assist. Now that presents a problem because someone will say, but Cape Town City are also struggling in form and that is why he's also not performing. But I would also say Chiefs is not playing the greatest of football and they are not really getting results this season. Maybe not the correction part of not the greatest of football, but they are not winning consistently. So you're telling me, Guti, when your team is down, you're also going to be down. Look, for example, at a player. I know I'm a Liverpool's fan, so I'm going to keep on using Liverpool references as well. Take, for example, Salah. 20 plus goals this season, yet Liverpool are playing nonsense, absolute nonsense. But since he is a quality player, he's still getting numbers on the board. So if you go to a player who is struggling with Cape Town City, and then you are brought onto the Chiefs with the environment hostile as it is, because the moment he gets signed by Chiefs, there's just this pressure. You go, oh, he's our savior, oh, he's going to save us all, oh, he's going to do all the things that we want the players to do when they come to Chiefs. And then 2-3 games it doesn't do it, then it gets booed, and then we've wasted money because we've signed a player who, as you look at his stats, it seems like he is declining. This is not to dismiss Mdantsane right now, because I am just pointing out to Guti, if you look at his stats, vele they're on a decline. And because they're on a decline, it's easy then for Chiefs to say, nansi imali esinayo encane vele lo mdlalo uyaboza, but we need him to shut down our fans. Obviously, they won't say that when they're negotiating. But I'm just saying, Guti, it's these things that when you look at, you ask yourself, Guti, how does the Chiefs scout? Do they look at who's performing good based on what we need as well? Or do they just say, oh, Mdu once played for the Chiefs, so we can sign him back? Because there's also the thing that Chiefs does, Guti. We have good players at good development here too, who we then send out or we end up losing somehow. And after losing those players, they perform in the other teams. And then we think, oh no, we made a mistake. Let's go get that player back. And then we get them back and only to find out they no longer fit in our system or they can no longer play in the players that we have in our team. So now all of a sudden, you feel like you've wasted money. Like, it would be an understatement to say Ukwinika is having a bad season. Again, I'm not writing him off, which is not going to recover his form. I hope it does, because he is a good player, like in terms of also what he brings to the team in terms of being a leader and stuff like that. But I'm just saying, good team, do we really want to make a mistake, Yoguti? We're signing a player once again just because they're available. We're signing a player once again just because they once played for a Chiefs. We're signing a player even though their stats seem to tell us that they're on a decline. Because each Chiefs right now, with the players that we have, we need someone who's going to come in and help the team to be lifted up. Not a person who's coming to Chiefs to rediscover their form, because Chiefs is not a team that you come in to rediscover their form. Abalandeli, they are so ruthless. We talked about it yesterday. If you're going to come to Chiefs and you struggle even for a second, these ruthless fans will eat you alive and spit you out. And that will be the biggest problem of your life, because now, on top of the fact that you were struggling very in the other team with no pressure, you come here and there's an even higher expectation that you are not even halfway reaching in your other team. Like 1 goal in 20 matches, that's like sad. But now translate that to Chiefs Suguti. How are you going to cope then, Nick? Because now you're expected to not do twice as much as you are expected to do at Cape Town City, but you are expected to quadruple basically everything that you did at Cape Town City, because our fan base, everything is just bigger at Chiefs. So then that doesn't just create a problem for him, but it also creates a problem for the team, for the fans, and everyone who's involved in that situation. But that's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. What do you think, guys? Let me know down in the comment section. Should Chiefs continue with signing Mduduzi Mdantsane? Let me know down in the comment section below. I will see you on the next video. And don't forget, We are live at 7:30. And until next time, remember, Khosi, aliphela umoya.